Today I'm gonna explain the movie Daddy's Girl in this video. It's a crime, horror and thriller movie. The film was released in 2018. The movie revolves around a dad and a daughter. The man does unacceptable things with her daughter and instigates her for wrongdoings. As soon as the movie starts, we see a house, and inside the house, a man and a woman laying intimately. Having heard their conversation, we came to know that they are stepfather and stepdaughter, John and Zoe. Zoe was displeased with her father's activity. Actually, John was a retired war veteran, a psychopath and sadistic in nature. Previously, he tortured multiple women, but he couldn't be apprehended. Zoe knows the awful truth about her dad, but she is dismayed of John, and despite aversion, she is compelled to associate him. Zoe tried to commit suicide for several times, but she couldn't afford taking her own life. At night, they headed for a club to find their victim. Having reached there, John noticed a woman and asked Zoe to buy a beverage for her. Zoe gave her the drink, and indicating John, she said that her friend offered her the drink. That night, she visited their home. Later, John asked her to close her eyes, saying he had a surprise for her, and took her inside a room. Zoe became so dejected over herself as she knew the girl's gonna be the victim of her dad's infernal atrocity. John captured a photo of that young lady. We witnessed several girls' photos on the wall. Those were the girls who John tortured. When the girl opened her eyes, she saw the room filled with mortar instruments. She got terrified and tried to escape, but John grabbed her. And here the scene shifted to another scenario where we saw a woman named Jennifer was walking alone on the road. She asked for the lift from a car. The vehicle was being driven by Deputy Scott of the town. She embarked on his car. A meager amount of missing girls poster drew her attention. She became inquisitive about the issue. The deputy told her that he was working on that case. Afterwards, Scott dropped her at her destination and left. Then we saw the woman at John's house who was abducted to be tormented. Her condition was dire and she was scathed. Zoe felt pity and prepared a noose for her. She said her that she had two options. Either she could tolerate his oppression to death or set the noose around her neck. The victim suffered a lot and couldn't bear it anymore, so she decided to commit suicide. When John returned at night, he discovered her hanging body and realized Joe helped her to do that. He came to Zoe and unleashed her aggression. John forced her to dissect the deceased leg with a chainsaw as punishment. She had to perform the task despite she was frightened. Next day, an aged woman called Deputy Scott, complaining some wicked kids kept throwing eggs at her house. Having heard the event, he told he couldn't take any legal action as they were minor. Meantime, some children punctured the deputy's vehicle as an act of fun. When Scott saw them, they escaped from the place. He went to a nearby garage to ask for help, and coincidentally the garage belonged to John. He also met Zoe there. While John was taking his car in his picker vehicle, Scott felt he might have seen him somewhere. He inquired John if he had been in military force. John told that he was in military in Iraq. Scott mentioned he was also in Iraq, but his batch was different. After conversing with John, he became skeptical about him and told the fact to sheriff. The sheriff replied that he knew John. After retirement, he married a woman, but 2 years later, her better half committed suicide. Since then, he stayed with his new girlfriend. Having heard the sheriff, we came to know that none of them knew that Zoe was his stepdaughter. Everybody thought Zoe was his girlfriend. Later, John and Zoe visited to the club to find another victim. We saw Jennifer in the club taking her drink. Jennifer was the woman who came to the town by taking leave from Scott. Having reached the town, she began working as bartender. Zoe went to Jennifer for drinks and noticed John chatting with a woman, implying they got what they came for. Later, Zoe joined them. Minutes later, Jennifer served her the drink and John started flirting with her. Jennifer got trapped in his words. As John was with another woman, Jennifer told that they could go for a date for some other time. While returning, Zoe and the girl had some fun inside the car. Afterwards, John, having brought the girl in his house, led her to the torture chamber. Seeing the atmosphere of the room, she got appalled and tried to escape. John grabbed her hair and laid her on an iron bed and shackled her hands. He electrocuted her to torment. When Zoe witnessed the relentless act, she felt bad, but she couldn't do anything for the fright of John. On the other side, Scott was being suspicious about John and investigating about him. He unearthed the truth about John. The next day, Scott told Sheriff's daughter that John did not retire, but he was expelled for violating the rules. Later, he altered his identity and married a woman who already had an 11-year-old daughter. 2 years later, his wife committed suicide. When they discovered the truth, they learned that Zoe wasn't his girlfriend but stepdaughter. We saw the girl again who John tortured in the previous night. Zoe met Jennifer in the bar and talked to her quite a long time. That actually implied she began liking Jennifer. Moments later, John showed up there and took Zoe in the car and warned her not to meet anybody without letting him know. After returning home, he began hurting that girl and she was screaming in pain. Having heard her cry, Zoe couldn't resist herself to go to that chamber with a gun and aimed at John. But she couldn't shoot him and John left the room. Zoe went to the girl and stated that the man wouldn't desist to oppress her. She had two choices left. Either she could endure the pain as long as she lives or shoot herself with the gun. The girl, being broken and helpless, shot herself. Deputy Scott, to confirm the fact that Zoe wasn't John's girlfriend but stepdaughter, went to Zoe's school. The principal displayed some childhood photos of Zoe. Those pictures corroborated that Zoe really was John's stepdaughter. She was really distressed at home and vexed for John's activity. Once when she was shopping with John in Town Mall, Deputy Scott approached her saying he knew the actual truth about her. If she had any trouble, she could tell him. Meantime, John saw them sharing words. She said to Scott that she needed no help from him. She also let John know about the whole thing. As usual, at night, they went to the bar to seek for their plaything. John, having seen Jennifer, intended to make her his new prey. They started taking their drinks. When Zoe and Jennifer were alone, Zoe forbade her to go with John. Jennifer flouted her suggestion as she was attracted to John. Afterwards, John made her unconscious by adding some drugs in her drink, returned home, and shackled Jennifer on their iron bed. Deputy Scott followed them, seeing John's car to their body. His foot got clamped in a bear trap that John set outside his house. Scott began shouting in pain. Zoe heard his scream and came to help him. Later, John came and hit him so bad that Scott lost his sense. When all these things were happening outside, Jennifer unlocked the shackle with her earrings and locked herself to avoid that psycho. After John took Scott in that room, he discovered the disappearance of Jennifer. He went outside to recapture her. John found her and tried to catch her, but Jennifer didn't give up and also fought back. Then Zoe and Scott were alone in their room. When Scott regained his sense, told Jennifer she was a really good girl. Good things were latent inside her. He thanked her for saving his life. Another side, John, being exhausted, called Zoe. Zoe showed up there with the revolver. John expected she will shoot Jennifer, but this time, proving his thought wrong, she facilitated John to almost death. Later, she slitted his throat with a knife. In next scene, Scott was seen being recovered. Sheriff's daughter also gave him a hand. She asked Scott if Zoe's whereabouts was found. Scott replied no. Eventually, Zoe and Jennifer were shown together hunting the criminals. They made an alliance to forestall the crimes. And here the movie draws the conclusion. So it was the profound narration of the movie Daddy's Girl. Well, that's all for today. Thank you.